Hey, Travels with Dottie here, and welcome to my campsite, or our campsite, Dottie and I. And I have a kind of unique video today because I read an article this morning in, I think the magazine or website's called Fast Company. It's pretty reliable on kind of tech things. And at my age, I worry more and more about memory. And I'm not going to worry's a strong word because I know it's a part of aging to be forgetful about things. And the most prominent thing is, have you ever said this? Damn, I just met him. Why can't I remember his name? It's just, and why can't I remember what so and so said to me yesterday? It seemed important, but now I've forgotten. And there are things that I do and I've been doing for years. This one in particular suggestion in this article, I've been using organically for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and read you the article. I think it's worth it. Want to get smarter? Neuroscience has 5 simple steps significantly boost memory, learning, and cognition. Learn more quickly and retain more? Here's how in just minutes. While the underlying mechanism is unclear, neuroscientists theorize that saying something out loud separates and distinguishes it from mere thoughts. You didn't just think it, you also heard it. That makes the information, idea, or plan you want to remember even more memorable. When you need to remember something, say it aloud or mouth it to yourself. Your cerebral cortex will help you retain it longer. Then do a 40-second replay. Remembering a name is fairly simple. Remembering something more complex requires memory consolidation. The process of transforming temporary memories into more stable, long-lasting memories. Even though memory consolidation can be sped up, storing a memory in a lasting way takes time. A good way to increase the odds is to mentally replay whatever you want to remember for 40 seconds. A 2015 study published in Journal of Neuroscience found that a brief period of rehearsal, replaying an event in your mind, going over what someone said in a meeting mentally, mapping out a series of steps, etc., makes it significantly more likely you remember what you replayed. As the researchers write, a brief period of rehearsal has a huge impact on your ability to remember complex, lifelike events over periods of 1 to 2 weeks. We have also linked this rehearsal effect to processing in a particular part of the brain, the posterior cingulate. A week or two, that should be long enough for you actually to do something with that, whatever it is you remembered. Then make a prediction. While it sounds odd, a study published in the Canadian Journal of Experimental Psychology shows the act of asking yourself whether you will remember something significantly improves the odds that you will remember, in some cases by as much as 50%. That's especially true for prospective memories or remembering to perform a planned action or intention at some point in the future. Following up with a customer, checking on a vendor status. After you deal with the problem, determining the root cause. Why playing the prediction game works is also somewhat unclear. Possibly the act of predicting is a little like testing yourself. As research shows, quizzing yourself is a highly effective way to speed up the learning process. Think flashcards from the old days. What is clear, the act of predicting helps your hippocampus better form and index those episodic memories for later access. Want to remember to do something in the future? Take a second and predict whether you will remember. This act alone makes it more likely you will. then zone out for 2 minutes. I can do that. According to a study published in Nature Review Psychology, even a few minutes of rest with your eyes closed can improve memory, perhaps to the same degree as a full night of sleep. Psychologists call it, quote, offline waking rest. In its purest form, offline waking rest can be closing your eyes and zoning out for a couple of minutes, but you can also daydream, meditate, clear your mind, and think happy thoughts. While none of these sound productive, should you really be wasting your time where you could be learning? Intermittent lack of focus improves memory consolidation. In simple terms, constantly going from one thing to the next makes it hard for your brain to keep up. As researchers write, periods of reduced attention to the external world are a universal feature of human experience, which suggests that spending a portion of time disengaged from the sensory environment permit the reactivation of recently formed memory traces. This iterative reactivation of memory could strengthen and stabilize newly formed memory over time, contributing to early stages of memory consolidation during the few minutes following encoding. The key is to be intentional about it. First, replay what you want to remember for just 40 seconds or so. Then predict whether or not you'll remember it. Then close your eyes, zone out for a minute or two. Offline waking rest. As researchers write, moments of unoccupied rest should be recognized as a critical contributor to human waking cognitive function. And finally, you know this one. Easier said than done. Get a good night's sleep. Here's the effortless aspect of improving your memory. According to a study published in Psychological Science, people who studied before bed, slept, and then did a quick review of the next morning spent less time studying and increased their long-term retention by 50%. The underlying mechanism is what psychologists call sleep-dependent memory consolidation. Converging evidence from the molecular to the phenomenological leaves little doubt that offline memory reprocessing during sleep is an important component of how our memory is informed and ultimately shaped. In simple terms, sleeping on it helps your brain file away what you learned and makes it easier to access it when you need it. That's also true where longer-term memory is concerned. Learning, then getting a good night's sleep, and then learning again is an extremely effective way to boost intelligence and skill. As the researchers write, we found that interleaving sleep between learning sessions, it not only reduced the amount of practice needed by half, but also ensured much better long-term retention. Sleeping after learning is definitely a good strategy, but sleeping between two learning sessions is an even better strategy. Say you're learning a new practice. After a practice session, the main bullets of your presentation out loud, then mentally replay key elements of your presentation, then predict whether or not you'll remember what you learned, then take a minute or two to zone out, then get a good night's sleep, do a quick review the next day, and work on the next chunk of information. Rinse and repeat. And neuroscience says you'll spend less time learning and you'll remember a whole lot more, which means you'll be able to do more because what you know is only as good as what you do with it. Hey, that's it for the formal part. But for me, the name thing, this works. And I've done it in front of people and they kind of chuckle and I explain what I'm doing. Nice to meet you, Mary. And I go, okay, Mary, 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 Mary. And they'll usually smile. And I say, that's a little trick that I've learned. If I say your name out loud several times in a row, right after I meet you, chances are I'm going to remember your name. And that's just a little trick. And they'll smile because they'll be flattered because what you're saying to them, you're important enough to me, so I really want to remember your name. Now, if it's not an appropriate environment to do that, you can turn around and walk away and mutter to yourself, Mary, 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 Mary. And that'll do it. So am I great at remembering names? Heck no, because I forget to do that all the time. And for really important things, like when I get ready for this trailer to hit the road, I have a comprehensive checklist. I'm not going to rely on any neurological studies to make sure that I do everything before I pull that trailer away. I'm not willing to take that risk. But I think these tips, especially the easy ones, are worth trying, and they work for me. The meditation isn't that hard. It's not that big a deal. And it's asking, for 2 minutes, just close your eyes like this, relax. And I had a yoga instructor that had a great tip for meditation. Meditation doesn't mean don't think. He said, be the observer of your thoughts. As your thoughts go through your head, look at them as if they're embedded in clouds and they're just drifting by. Observe them. Be the observer. And that is a great way to meditate. And how long does it suggest you meditate? 2 minutes. 2 minutes, right? And what was it? It's what's wrong, Dottie. 40 seconds is what did they ask us to do for 40 seconds? Now, don't laugh at me. I have to go through the article again. What did it ask us to do for 40 seconds at the beginning? Oh, this is funny. But it tells you it's 65. I need this stuff. Let's see. Neuroscientist. I'm flipping through here. Do a 40-second replay. Remember a name is fairly simple. Remember something more complex requires memory consolidation. So whatever you want to remember for 40 seconds, mentally replay it. And that's good for Dottie just came up here and Dottie just started moving the tripod, didn't you? Because you're jealous. Now she's laying down under the tripod. So that's what the 40 seconds was. And the 2 minutes of just doing nothing. 40 seconds is replaying something in your head that'll help you burn that memory into a neural pathway in your brain. And I'll probably never forget that one, will I? Because I've talked about it for at least 40 seconds. So I'm going to remember what the 40 seconds is. So here's great advice on retaining memory and a great example of a 65-year-old guy forgetting stuff in the middle of doing a video on it. How do you get more realistic than that? So it's one of the things that we struggle with as we age. So I say, don't struggle with it. Embrace it. It's part of growing old. It's a small price to pay. For me, anyway, for the utter joy that I'm experiencing in these years, these golden years. And now I finally understand why they referred to retirement as the golden years, because gold has such value and it's rare. Now I know why they named the Golden Girls the Golden Girls. I need to go back and watch that show. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video and I hope it's helpful. And I hope a couple of you watch it. I'm getting beeped by my brother. Dinged, text message, whatever. Anyway, take care and I'll see you on the next video tomorrow.